Hello, this is Cammie Guildner. I am with Syzygy Coaching, and today I'm thrilled to have Beverly Green with us, who's going to be leading a webinar on Style Your Essence. When Beverly and I met last year, we found that although we work in very different fields, we used a lot of the same language. We use the essence of who you are, and while I work with people in finding their essence and a personal growth, who you are as a person, Beverly works with people in styling that essence. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect for my clients. So I'm thrilled to have you here today, Beverly.
Thank you. Thanks, Cammie.
And Beverly's background, and I know those of you joining have probably already seen this, but it's so impressive. You know, she's worked with iconic names like Jamie Lee Curtis, Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, Danny Glover. I mean, there's just so many to name here. She's been a costume designer at Universal Studios, Walt Disney, and SeaWorld. She has corporate clients from Chevrolet to Coca-Cola to CoverGirl to HBO. So her client list is huge. I'm thrilled to say that I actually had her come shop my own closet last fall, and it was so much fun. If any of you are thinking about doing that, I encourage you to reach out to Beverly from that perspective. She really helped me say, you know, this needs to go, this needs to stay. Who should I be? I mean, in my own essence, how can I dress and style myself from that perspective? So with that, I'm not going to talk long. This is really to share what Beverly has to share with you. And so, Beverly, I'll turn it on over to you.
Thank you. Thanks. Hi, everybody. So can you all see my screen?
You know what? Let me unmute people, because right now we're a small enough group. We should be unmuted.
That'd be great, because then if somebody has a question.
I think everyone is unmuted. Can you guys reach out? Can you speak out?
Hey, it's Chantel.
Hi, Chantel.
Hi.
Hi, Chantel.
Hi, Beverly.
Okay,
Linda.
so
Hi, guys. Hi,
if
Linda.
any of you have questions, if you want to either put them in the chat area, I'll try to keep my eye on that so I can answer kind of as we go along. And I think Cammie's right. We're small enough that we can probably, you know, I can take specific questions as we go through this. Are all of you familiar with Pinterest?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Anybody not? Okay, perfect. Then let me start with, so one of the things that was one of the first ideas that I ran across when I started doing individuals. When I worked in Hollywood, I worked on predominantly production, television, commercials, and we would get a cast list. So we had, you know, in the commercial there were going to be 3 or 4 principal roles. We had like maybe a salesman and a soccer mom and a secretary, and so by the way that we dressed them and did their hair and makeup, you as the viewer would immediately get who that character was in the scene called the commercial. And so I took that and started doing it for private individuals, because to me, we all play different roles in our lives. So once you identify the roles that you're playing in your life, then you can begin to dress for that role so that when people meet you or see you in that role, they get it immediately, who you are, and that's what boils down to your essence. When you can show up as who you really are, people will get you immediately. So that's really the sort of the key and the background to all of this. And one of the first images. hang on, I got to bring my little screen thing back. Somebody have a question? Okay, so one of the first images I found that really said all of that, not that one. Hang on one second. Okay, those are my essence words, which I'll get to in just a second. So one of the first images that I came across, and I wish I could say I designed it, but I didn't. It belongs to the Cancel Institute. You can see them down here at the bottom. What they do is they train image consultants in how to work with private individuals. I got the same education behind the camera, but the message is the same. And it starts with how we see ourselves when we look in the mirror every morning, which is what you would call your self-image. It is the most important piece that I can give to you today. How we see ourselves is the most important piece, because what it does is it impacts how we dress and how we groom ourselves. And that impacts how we think and feel and act about ourselves for the whole day, which impacts how, obviously, others see us react or respond, which then goes right back to how we see ourselves. So it's called the image cycle. If this is all you take away from today, you will have gained, 100% more than most people know or understand. In my opinion, how we dress in the morning is one of the most creative things that we get to do every day, because it really does set up your whole day. So when I talk to people about, especially people who work from home, they'll say to me, oh, I never put on makeup, and I hang out in my sweats all day because that's what I get to do when I work from home. Well, hold the phone. You're doing yourself a disservice if that's how it is, because it's more important to me that you feel great during the day, even if you dress. Look, this is how I look pretty much every day, whether I'm going to work from home, whether I'm going to work with a client, because in my mind, this is my work persona. This is who I am. This is how I want the world to perceive me. That's how I show up, even if it's just me. So what I'm going to do is show you. So I know you guys have been working with essence words, and I'm going to show you what mine are as soon as I'm sorry, I've got a whole bunch of picture things going here, which I'm going to start reducing because then I can find them. So I did a list of what my essence words would be, and this is what they are. I don't know if you guys have a long list or a short list. I put my contact information on here too if any of you want to get in touch with me. And please feel free to, email, text, call, whatever. These are my essence words: playful, fun, joyful, classy, sophisticated, eclectic, confident, competent, trustworthy, open, curious, and youthful. That's, I wrote that down in like two minutes. There are probably more if I, did an exercise, or if I really spent some time thinking about this. I'm sure I could come up with more. But those are kind of the top, however many there are there, because those are the ones that were fresh on my mind this morning. And the other one that's not on that list but that I want to address is beauty. Because beauty is not so much about being beautiful or having beauty surrounding you. Beauty is more of a concept that and when I found this Navajo blessing, it really epitomized to me what beauty means to me, because one of the things I'm real clear about is my purpose in life. I don't know if you guys have done any of that kind of work before, but I have, and I realized that my purpose in life is to create beauty. So I do it in my home, I do it with clients, I do it with myself. It's not so much about whether or not it's pretty. It has to do more with my connection to everything that's going on around me. So I'm going to let you guys sort of read this on your own. This is to me the poem that epitomizes the beauty essence that I walk with every day.
Beverly, can we get a copy of that?
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome, because it looks like it's a great poem.
Yes, it's a wonderful poem. I can email it to you, Cammie, and then you can email it to everybody else.
Okay, that'd be perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So that's just a little bit of what I wanted to cover before we actually go into Pinterest.
Okay, and I'll just add, from a client perspective, they are often doing just that. They're looking at those types of words like you showed up for yourself. They actually hone that into an essence statement. And, so they take a whole bunch of words that they've been exploring and finding that are who they are, but then starting to wrap that into something really succinct. And from that, they also talk about what their purpose and how they matter to the world.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
It's such a, once you have that, it makes it a whole lot easier to, figure out your style, to do a personal presentation, to get up in front of a group and be real. I mean, it's a real gift to yourself.
Right. Staying true to you, right?
Absolutely. So this is like what Pinterest is doing right at this very moment. I pulled this up just a couple minutes ago. So you all know that, you can go on here and look for different essences. I mean, you can look for essences if you have a certain word. Or you can put in, women's fashion. You can put in, one of the things that, especially if you're just starting out doing this, that's a real easy way to do it, is to find either a celebrity or a style influencer who kind of epitomizes, and it can be a bunch of different people, your look, a look that you're particularly drawn to. So I'll show you what my page looks like. I've been somewhat lax in this. I haven't posted a lot lately. One of the downsides of Pinterest is that it's a huge time suck. So when I'm working with a client, I'll use this a lot. I don't know if you can see down at the bottom of my page where I have secret boards.
Yes.
Can you all see these?
Yes.
So if you have, for example, if you're doing this with a partner or some other people, you could set up a secret board that only you guys would have access to. So when I'm working with a client, I'll set up a secret board she or he and I are the only ones who have access to. I can post things there. They get notified. They answer me, or they post, I get notified. So it's a real easy way to keep track of, if you're working ongoing on something. If you're just in general trying to set up, looks that you love, for example, I love dresses. I just think that women look so incredible in dresses, and so when I find a great dress, which is not that easy to do, this is where I will post it. So we can look through here real quickly. I haven't done any in a while. And I'm not sure why this isn't pulling itself up.
I like the idea of finding a stylist or finding somebody that you might like to mimic their style or watch their style. And how do you best go about finding that person?
Perfect question, because that's exactly what I was going to segue into. So I follow a bunch of style sites. Probably my favorite of them is Refinery 29. Let me scroll up to the top of the page. So Refinery 29, if you follow them on Facebook, or if you don't want, I mean, they post like a jillion times a day, but and they post about fashion, beauty, and lifestyle, and also things that are trending. But they will have very, very often, almost every day, shots of style influencers or celebrities having attended. This one is the CFDA, which is the fashion designers. It's a committee of fashion designers in America. And so these are the 12 best looks. One of the things I like is that you can click right there and see all of the slides before you actually hit the little button and have to wait for each one of them to download separately. So this is the compilation, and different celebrities, different style influencers at this event. Lupita was probably one of my favorites. She has employed the services of one of my favorite stylists in Hollywood, whose name I couldn't tell you right now, but they're the ones who are responsible, really, in my opinion, for her making such a big splash when she, first appeared on the scene, because it all of a sudden became all about what she was wearing, the color, the style, how she showed up. She's really transformed herself in the last year of being on all of these red carpets with her style, and she's now, a trend setter, and has just secured a couple of very lucrative contracts with cosmetic companies and designers.
So you find somebody that perhaps is in your, I mean, when you think about the different people that are either professional women or they are have their own business from that perspective, how do you guide them to establish their style?
You mean like if I'm working with a person and they're looking to establish their style but looking for trend setters?
Well, I mean, I guess that's how do you bridge that?
Right.
Because most of my clients aren't going to be walking the red carpet.
Well, exactly. And
right.
The only reason to do this is to get inspiration, really.
Like for colors or?
For color, for proportion, for people who have body types that are similar to yours.
Okay.
So one of the reasons that Lupita appeals to me is I have this body. I'm not quite that thin, but I have her kind of body type. So it would be, it'd be a good idea to find people who have your body type.
Okay.
So, for example, this is a pretty common body type of people I work with. The apple shape
Yep.
is I find a lot of women over a certain age have this particular body type. So, and that's the other thing that I should probably point out here is you can look fabulous no matter what your weight, no matter what your body type, no matter what your proportions are, because everybody has fabulous something. Right. So it's either your face or your hair or your neck or your waist or your feet. Whatever that is, you want to accentuate the positives, because we all have them, and you want to minimize the considerations, because we all have those too.
Right.
I've worked with some of the top runway models, supermodels. There's not one of them that doesn't have a body issue. So, you know, we work with what we get. One of my teachers used to say, we all come in with a bag of tricks, and it's up to us to figure out what those tricks are and to utilize them and to highlight them. And I would say the same is true for, you know, for your high points about yourself. So like the things that set you apart, that make you who you are, those are the things that we want to emphasize. So, you know, and you can Google what are the body types. There are basically 4, and you figure out which one you are or which combination. You're usually one of the 4 body types. And then, you know, look through here and find, and they even have people, like these are probably style influencers, who all have, yeah, so Catherine Zeta-Jones, Jennifer Hudson, what's her name, who's on Grey's Anatomy? Her name isn't popping into my mind right now, but these are all apple body types.
Okay. Cool.
And right here is a really good example of why she's an apple shape. So you'll be able to go through, you know, things like this and figure out what your body type is, and then look for, and you can even Google celebrities with apple bodies.
How funny. Isn't it funny? You can Google anything.
You can Google anything. So here would be images for celebrities who have apple bodies. You could do it for style influencers or designers who design specifically for your body type, because there'll be like Eileen Fisher, for example, is very well known for styling, for designing for women with an apple body type. She tends to cover up the middle. She'll also have belts that you can use to highlight certain places, like some people will have, so they'll have an indentation right below their bust, so that empire belting in an empire fashion looks really good on them. Even though the lower half might be real heavy, they can emphasize the fact that they have a very small rib cage. Or a lot of times what we'll do is we'll highlight, like you'll see in all of these pictures, all of these people who have apple body types, they've all emphasized the bust area. If you got them, flaunt them. I'm not saying, you know, wear low-cut things in inappropriate ways, but there's a way to emphasize and to highlight with jewelry or with a neckline the décolletage area that might be your best feature. And then it's easy to set up, you know, different boards. Okay, so here's my, came up. Here's my I love dresses. And you can go through here and see, you know, some of the dresses that I identified as being favorites. Okay, this is a particularly fabulous. I'm going to make this bigger if I can figure out.
I think probably why you have a slow connection, Beverly, is because of the webinar. It takes a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah, it does, and I have a lot of windows open on my computer right now. So this kind of a style, this ruching right across here, is every woman's best friend. This is kind of a lot. There are, you know, some of these that have a little less ruching, but ruching is in style right now, and it can really cover a multitude of sins. This is pretty body conscious. I am a great believer in dressing in a body conscious manner, no matter what your shape or your size is, because it's in the trying to cover it up that makes you look bigger. So find ways to wear things that are body conscious, like this, which actually is for a larger woman, and she doesn't necessarily have anything special going on here, but accentuates all of the high points.
And the lines probably help the visual that you're talking about there, right?
Exactly. All of this print helps to hide, like she could have a little roll in here and you'd never see it because of the print.
Right.
And there are tons of sites that specialize in, this is another one that I liked that's a print. Oh, and this might not take us there because it's from a couple of years ago. But it will also cover a multitude of sins. So I guess the one thing that I would encourage, yeah, it's no longer there, that I would encourage you to use, particularly those of you who defer to black, let's call it.
I'm guilty.
Yeah. Join the club. Most of my clients are, and I think this is what I was trying to pull up for the whole time. One of the things I will tell you about black is it's easier for designers and for manufacturers to make black because it's safe and they know it'll sell. It's easier than to invest money into color because it costs them more money to produce color. And they're running a risk that people might not like that particular color. So I find color to be a lot more prevalent in designer clothes. And designer clothes, I've found several fabulous designer resale places in Denver. There are a couple in Boulder, but most of them are in Denver. And you can get, for a tenth of what you'd pay for retail, you can get designer clothes that in a lot of cases still have tags still on. And the designers are the ones who have the color. I find it sometimes, I'm not a big retail shopper. One of my mottos is never pay retail. So I shop a lot online for my clients. I haunt places like Marshalls and TJ Maxx because you can find the same things that you would find in a department store for less. I do a whole seminar on how to shop the discount stores. So if you guys are interested in any of that, I can, I'm happy to help you find that. And then when you do get back to Pinterest, just set up boards for things that spark your imagination, I guess would be the best way to put it. So what you're really trying to do is to find ideas that appeal to you and then start putting them together. So, for example, looks I love. I just went through and started pinning, and I'll see something online. You see that I pulled a lot from Refinery 21. I just find things that really appeal to me. The line of this coat I love. This is somebody I've started following. Her name is Syzygy, and she writes from a from a big black girl point of view, and she's hysterical. I respond visually to words. That inspires me. Some people respond to pictures. I mean, it is a picture, but I respond to the words as well. The line of this coat, the line of the heel on this boot. When I was in Europe in September, I saw a lot of platform and wedge sneakers. Marilyn Monroe style has always appealed to me. This is another look I love, a little bit of a longer skirt. You have to have a longer leg to pull this off, but this image of a tighter skirt with kind of a tulip hem. So you can see one of the, what kind of an age range are we today?
I'm 40.
Okay.
51.
51?
Uh-huh.
Anybody else? Middle, sort of middle of the road there? Do we have anybody under 30? Okay. So one of the things that I've found, because I'm posting 3 times a day on Facebook, this is my sort of commander page. I get to make all the magic from this page, but I post 3 times a day on Facebook under Stylist 911. And what I really try to do is find sort of a middle ground. I post for young people, I post for men, I post for African Americans, for Asians, for heavy people, for older people, and I find that that sort of what we would call mature look isn't really called a mature look anymore, because the stuff that I find is truly hideous. I think it's more important to find a style that works for you and then work that style. But one of the places I look for inspiration, I'm in my 60s, is this site that's called Advanced Style. This guy, it's a young guy, this is him, Seth Cohen, took an interest in photographing older stylish women in New York. And so he writes this blog, and he photographs these incredibly fabulous women who are, you know, she's probably in her 50s.
She's
maybe
beautiful.
Sorry?
She's beautiful.
Isn't that fabulous?
Yes.
And very inspirational, because some of them are, so like I would call that a sort of a classic style.
Yep.
But some of them are truly amazing. I mean, these are women who've obviously collected clothes and jewelry for a long time and are now putting it together in very interesting ways. I'm trying to move backwards because I saw something earlier that I wanted to show you. But that brings me to a point that I wanted to talk to you guys about, which is I would encourage you to find statement pieces. So either jewelry is always a really good one. If you can see this, this is my grandfather's turquoise ring, and I wear it all the time because it's memorable, it sets me apart, and that's what a statement piece should do. So this is Gretchen Shields. Isn't she fabulous? And she's collected jewelry. In fact, this is a friend of hers who's a jewelry maker. And they're modeling some of this women's jewelry. Check out, look at these boots.
Wow.
Aren't those fabulous?
Yes.
This outfit I loved. I mean, if you saw that woman walking down the street, wouldn't you just want to stop and talk to her?
Totally.
So that story is about the jewelry. This is another, these are all New York women who, you know, walk around looking like this. The one I wanted to show you is a pair of boots. So this is Syzygy. I think she's the jewelry designer. All right, check out these boots. Fabulous?
Yes.
Oh. But I mean, you can just tell that she's a character. And that's really what we want to do, is we want to show up as who we are. We're all characters. We all have that kind of creativity inside of us. So anyway, this is just a little inspiration. Okay, so this is a classic lady on Fifth Avenue. Yes, she's in black. But look at her boots. She's got little shoe booties on. I'll pull up more of her. She's carrying a great classic, probably vintage black bag. I love vintage. I love working with. So, okay, the statement on her outfit is the coat. It's got a great line to it. The fact that she's turned up her collar. The belt, because it is different and makes a real statement about the fact that she's confident enough to, she probably doesn't have much of a waist, but you know, you can see where it is. And then this bag, which I'm sure is vintage. And then she's got on a real interesting bracelet here. Let me see if I can magnify this so we can see it a little bit better. So it looks like it looks like probably something vintage. If you have jewelry from your mom or your grandmother or your aunt or, you know, somebody in the family, so one of the things that she could have added to this, which would have also made a real statement, is a vintage or collectible brooch. And so use things that set you apart, because they will, not that everybody will say something about it or notice it, but it sets up a very subconscious essence about you that people will remember you. I'll never forget, I read a quote from Anne. She used to be the governor of Texas. She's passed away. Anne Richards.
Richards, yeah.
And she said, well, the essence of what she said, I don't remember the exact phrase, but the essence of it was, I may not remember what you said, but I will always remember what you looked like. And I find that's very true, particularly with women. So what you do is you set up an essence of your look with statement pieces. So, like, for example, what I have on today is a necklace that's made up of different types of glass and beads. And that's the statement of what I have on, and also the color. You can do it with color as well. If you find a color that works particularly well for you, and how you find out what your best colors are is you look in the mirror, because your best colors will be in your hair, particularly in like undertones of your hair, in your eyes. So when I look in the mirror, I can identify probably 6 or 7 different colors that are in my eyes. Those are my best colors. And in your skin. And then you look for complementary colors to what your best colors are. And you can look up, I Google color wheels, and it'll show you exactly how to look for what complementary colors are to what your best colors are on the color wheel. And then I would trot right down to Home Depot or Lowe's or any place where they have paint chips. You can do this for yourself. Put together a little, take a baggie or a nice little fabric pouch that you can keep in your purse, and pick out the colors in paint that are your best colors and carry them with you, because when you're shopping, you can whip those babies out and identify what your best colors are without having to take everything off the rack, run over to a mirror, and hold it up to yourself. Because when you're wearing your best colors, and these are the colors that people stop you and say, oh my God, that color looks fabulous on you. That's a good color to try to reproduce. So when you're wearing your best colors, you're in your statement pieces, you've dressed for your body type, you're using your creativity to come up with styles that work for you. Over time, you will begin to develop your very own personal style that's based on your essence. So let's talk about, so I would say when I look at, what's this cute little lady's name? Oh, she doesn't have a name. Well, she looks like an Edith to me. So when I look at Edith, the thing that I would say about her right off the bat is that she's got a sense of play, that she probably has a good sense of humor, that she's probably pretty approachable because her jacket is open. If her jacket were buttoned and closed, I would say that she was not approachable. So I would say that she's approachable. I would say that she is confident because she's willing to show off her waist, and she's willing to wear a dress that shows her legs. That says confidence to me.
And the red lips.
And the red lipstick absolutely says, I know who I am.
Yep.
The fact that her hair is off of her face and that she's willing to show her forehead says that she's open, you know, which translates into being approachable. Let's take somebody else. Well, these ladies, I mean, obviously, I mean, look at her. She just says, I am a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word that comes to me. Fun.
Fun.
Creative.
And creative. And expressive. And sophisticated. And, you know, all of those. Tell me some of you guys, tell me some of your essence words. And let's try to find what that looks like.
One of my essence words is passion.
Passion. Okay. So what would that look like to you if you were, so passion to me is color.
Yeah, absolutely. I think passion is a color for me.
Typically, if you research colors, it's the color red.
Mm-hmm.
That's what signifies passion.
Or purple.
Or purple. So I would say this cute little whatever her name is, lady, is passionate.
And that totally jumped out at me as you were scrolling through that, Beverly. I was like, oh, I like that.
Yep. So my guess is that this is a pair of high-waisted pants that she's put. Now, this is a vintage belt because these were around when I was in high school. So she's got and she's probably had it since she was in high school. You know, the same with a couple of other things. These high-waisted pants have just come back. I would say the only thing about this pant that is a little off to me is that it's hung real low. That's not her, you know, the bottom of her figure is right here, and these should be a little bit higher, but that's nitpicking. I love the pant. I love high-waisted pants are back in. You know, she's not afraid to mix her reds here by adding a scarf. She's got the great red lip. This is a very fashion-forward sunglass style that's really in right now. She's got on a great statement piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
And I would definitely put her into the passion category. I bet her hips swing when she walks down the street too.
Absolutely. What other words out there from you guys? Let's hear some words from you.
Okay, so this is
Chantel?
Chantel, and two of my words are classic and free. And I think it's because I love the basic great cuts and great pieces, but then I pair either bling or animal print or color. So those are the two style words that I use when I'm dressing. Of course, you can put in, you know, fun and creative. Those are other words that I think would describe my essence.
So one of my favorite places to look is on Google Images. So this would be, these are classic styles. And you'll probably relate to, you know, to everything in here. This I love. This is such a classic. You know, it's sort of an updated Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah. I like it.
You know, my daughter is 18 and she channels Audrey Hepburn in her look totally. So
it's fabulous.
Well, everything.
Yeah, one of the people that with whom I worked wanted to channel a cross between Blair Waldorf, who used to be on Gossip Girls. Do you remember that show, Gossip Girls?
Oh, yeah.
She wanted to be a cross between Blair Waldorf and Audrey Hepburn. And so I set up a style board where she and I could put things that's Blair Waldorf meets Audrey Hepburn.
Nice.
And so the Audrey Hepburn is the really clean, basic, classic pieces. Yeah. And what Blair Waldorf did on the show, or the costume designer who put her in the clothes, kind of gave it that updated, like, if your daughter's 18, this would be a great, you know, classic look. This is a classic style of jacket, yep. But with a little bit of flair.
Yeah.
Cute.
Isn't that adorable?
Yes.
So actually my client posted this. This was a look that really appealed to her, that was a combination of all of those looks.
See, and I would consider that classic and free because you've got the print and you've got the classic cut. So that's
I would too.
Yeah.
I would too. So this is another one. This look, you know, classic style with the little coat, the bow, the open neck, the pearls, but really updated.
Yeah.
You know, and then we can go in for the straight, clean Audrey Hepburn, which I'm looking for. My client kind of went crazy one day, and all of a sudden I got notified that I had, like, I don't know, she'd pinned like 300 things to this board.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it was startling. But when I first started out pinning for her, all right, so this is a good example. So this is a very classic dress shape, yeah, that's in an updated fabric. Mm-hmm. Very Audrey Hepburn. I even Googled and pinned how to do her makeup to look like Audrey Hepburn. I found a step-by-step guide to how to do it. I mean, look at this look. She could walk down the street today, yep, with that haircut and that outfit, and she'd fit right in. That's what classic style really is.
Yeah.
And so picking those words and putting them into Google, putting them in, playing in the images, putting them into Pinterest. So someone takes their essence statement and can basically play with those words and start looking for things that jump out at them.
For the images that will inspire you to, because what I find, like, people always say to me, oh, I have so much trouble shopping in places like Marshalls and TJ Maxx because I never know what to look for. Right. And I wouldn't recognize it if I found it. Well, you would recognize it if you found it, if you knew what it looked like. And that's where Pinterest can really be helpful to identify what does classic look like.
Right.
You know, we all have an image in our mind of what it looks like, but when you actually have a picture of it in front of you, you will recognize it when you see it.
Because it speaks to you, right? You go,
Say again?
ooh, it speaks to you. You go, oh, I like that.
Yes, it speaks to you. So here's the thing. Our eyes pick up about 1 million bits of information a second. So once you've seen something, it sticks in your mind. You have an image of it in the computer, and you can reach back and find it. When you see it, you'll recognize it. It's one of the biggest and easiest ways to help people, because a lot of times I'll meet people who, I mean, I can look at somebody and tell you what your style is just from being around you and talking to you. So I could give it to you, or I could help you discover it for yourself, which is what we're doing today. And the easiest way to do that is to work with the essence words, find pictures of what that looks like, and then remember them. Because don't forget, your image, how you see yourself, which if you're dressed in that classic, fabulous, fun way, you'll act differently.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's really what we're talking about. It'll make you more of you. When you dress as your essence, it allows you to be that free, expressive, creative, fun, classically styled individual.
You're showing up feeling that way from the moment you walk out the door.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
So I would encourage you, even, you know, and I'm not talking about that you've got to do full makeup and hair every day sort of thing, but at least get yourself to where you are ready to walk out your door and feel good about yourself. If you were to run into, and this always happens to me, I'll think, oh, I can run out to Starbucks and I won't run into anybody I know. I always run into people I know when I don't look that great. So I've learned over the years, even if it's just mascara and a lip gloss, it ups the ante enough to where you're not embarrassed to be seen in public. When I worked with celebrity clients in LA, I would say to them, and this was, you know, this was 15 or 20 years ago, when if you walked out your door, you might get photographed by People magazine. The industry has changed a little bit. Now you probably get photographed by the Inquirer or Star or somebody, but I used to say to my clients, don't ever leave your house unless you're ready to be photographed by People magazine. That doesn't mean that you have to look like you're ready to walk down a runway, but it does mean that you're put together. And I guess that would be my encouragement for you guys, is to look put together every day.
Nice.
And you can find, you know, if you Google, you know, natural looking makeup, or you go to YouTube and look for videos, you can find videos on how to do anything. Natural looking makeup. I'm a big believer in tinted moisturizer. It just gives you a little bit of coverage, but it kind of blends things together and gives you a more finished look, if that's, you know, if that's a look that you're going for. You know, anything you need you can find online, truly. So does that help? Do you guys have questions?
You know, I just have one question. You were talking about sales, resale shops, consignment shops, and things like that. What would you recommend would piece together some of the great classic and free looks that I might be finding if I wanted to come to Denver, because I live up in Fort Collins?
Oh, okay. I would look for pieces that you can build outfits around, like jackets.
I meant the stores, actually.
Oh, the store. Okay, so there's one, my favorite is called Wardrobe Works. It's on 12th and Bannock. It's right across from the Art Museum. So if you did go down for the day, you could take some time and run over to the Art Museum.
Okay.
Cool.
Wardrobe Works. She's got amazing, unbelievably amazing things.
Cool.
I'm going to be posting, so the other site that I've done is a site called Stylist 911. And
you know what's interesting, Beverly? I know I belong to that, but I don't see that you post 3 times a day. It's one of those, Facebook things where you don't see everything that you'd like to see. So I guess I should probably click on the to get notified when you're making those kind of updates so that I see those.
Right. Or you could go to, if you just click on the Stylist 911, if you're following me, if you click on it, it'll show you everything that I posted that day.
Yeah, okay.
The other one that I'm posting on only once a day, but with a little bit more detail, and I'm starting to flesh this out, so it will ultimately have videos and
Cool.
a way to talk to me. We can Skype. Is stylist911.com. And I just did a play date with a young girl who's a fashion blogger, and I took her down to Wardrobe Works and dressed her, styled her, and put her in a bunch of different looks, one of which I'll show you. I'm sorry this is so slow. Her name is Rachel McCord, and she does the McCord list, and I haven't posted today, by the way. I will after we get off this webinar.
Okay.
I styled her in some vintage, and that would be the other thing that I would look for. If you know that your style is classic, I would look at vintage pieces because they're obviously classic, and they're usually a little bit less expensive.
Okay.
I put her in a pair of Matsudo vintage, and he's dead now, so his pieces have become collectible. But I put her in a pair of Matsudo pants, a really darling, current but easy to find little white wrap shirt, some fabulous jewelry, a charm necklace, and a hat. And we did this as a travel outfit because when you travel, you want to look, put together but casual, and it would be real easy. I also did one. Okay, so this is Rachel in the Matsudo pants, a white wrap shirt, a darling little hat, and some vintage jewelry. You can do a close-up on this if you read more. I'm not going to click it because it'll take forever. And this is a vintage piece. So this is in Wardrobe Works.
Okay.
So that's a good one. Any others?
Another one that I love is called oh shoot, it's not coming to me. I'll send Cammie a list of them, and then she can send it out to you guys.
Okay. Well, we don't want to keep you too much longer, Beverly. We're at our time now.
Yeah, we're at our time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me offline, either email or, like I said, text. I'll be open to talking to you.
Okay.
Thank
you so much, Beverly. I really
You're so
appreciate
welcome.
This has been awesome, and I definitely took some thoughts away. It's like less black, bring some more color in, and to just take some time in the mornings, even the mornings where I'm working at home all day long, to really just spruce up a little. And I like the ideas of how to dig into Google and Pinterest to get deeper into my own essence and then for my clients. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I love your necklace, by the way.
I
That's
wore
a
it
great
just for you
statement
because you
piece.
told me it was
I know.
my turquoise is my statement. So this is from you, the advice.
It's a good one.
So, okay, well, awesome. Thank you so much. And
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone,
Have a great
for joining
rest of your
in.
day.
Great
You
job,
too.
Tammy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.